Alright everybody, and welcome back to ManniCraft with Black Dog Z. Alright, so when we last left off, we were out in the Nether, and we were setting up a automated fuel system. So let's go down and take a look at where that's at. I've done a little bit of extra work off camera, just so we can push it ahead a little ways. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and got our liquid transposers hooked up. We've got some lava in there, and we've got lava running all the way over here. I've also hooked up this gate that will basically tell it if this energy cell can store energy, turn this on. Now later on we're going to have more of these guys, and we're probably going to have more stuff over here, but for now we're just going to set it up like this. This stuff is really easy to make. This here is super easy, so let's just take a look here. So if I just look up Liquiduct, so here's the Liquiduct. This is the one that's holding the lava, and it's just copper on either side and hardened glass in the middle. Now hardened glass is made specifically with 2 pieces of pulverized iron and a lead ingot, and that gives you 2 pieces of hardened glass that you can use. So you also have to use an induction smelter. That can always be a pain to get, but it's not as hard as it looks. You have to build it, but it's one of the easier things to build. So like if we look at the induction smelter here, as you can see, it's just the machine frame, redstone reception coil, bucket, sand and copper. No different than what we're used to for building these particular types of machines. Now these types of piping that generate energy, that hold energy, are a little bit different. So if we just go to redstone, we will see them there. Redstone energy conduit. You start with a regular empty energy conduit, which I'll show you how that's made. And you have to put in molten redstone. Molten redstone is really easy to make. You just need to use a magma crucible and put in redstone, and it will turn it into liquid. Once you've done that, you need to put down a liquid transposer beside it, so that you can get the liquid redstone out and into various systems. So these conduits are again easy to build. It's a piece of electrum with hardened glass. Now electrum is really simple. You can get that either by taking lava and putting it in industrial centrifuge, or you can combine a bunch of different things in order to get it. We have flint mortar, iron mortar, but here's how I did it, which was pulverized silver and gold dust, and that gets you your electrum dust that you can cook up. The other thing I went and made was a mining drill. This is just for my purposes of mining off camera. Many of you have seen it before, and I'll quickly show it off here just so you guys can see exactly what it's for. When you're using a mining drill, it just speeds up the process. Whoa, we just had a little spike in lag there for a second. So, as an example, if you see, it mines fairly quickly. Now, of course, this comes at the cost of energy. So as you can see, it had 3,600 before, now it's got 3,300, and we mined about 6 blocks. So for about 50 energy a block, it's capable of mining fairly quickly. Now this particular type can mine most things, but it cannot mine obsidian. You need a diamond drill in order to mine obsidian. Now unfortunately, a diamond drill is what we are wanting to work towards, but it's going to take a little bit of time. The reason for that is because of GregTech. So if we take a look at diamond and we go to the drills, we can see that we have a diamond drill. That's our next step, which we just need diamonds or industrial diamonds or even diamond dust, titanium ingots, and advanced circuits. Now titanium ingots are apparently fairly difficult to get without the titanium mod, which is not included in this particular mod pack. So this requires you to do a few different things, but as you can see, it seems to be the only way to get it is through an industrial blast furnace or shapeless crafting. Like, there doesn't appear to be an easy way to get it. And so that's always an issue when you're looking at that sort of thing, because these titanium ingots are impossible to get. Now, I did find out that if we find the right piece here, we go here, titanium dust, and then we just click on this. What makes little tiny piles of titanium dust? An industrial electrolyzer with bauxite. So, I've actually gone ahead and built an industrial electrolyzer. My plan is to get titanium by using our bauxite in order to make our titanium. Once we have that, we'll be able to make our diamond drill. Once we have our diamond drill, we can build a miner. And that's going to be a big thing for us because, as you remember, we are very low on certain objects. We have 36 tin right now. We have just over a stack of iron, just over 2 stacks of gold. We have just over a stack of copper and 22 of these brass. Sorry, that's brass. This is bronze. 22 bronze and 1 brass. So as you can see, we don't have very much right now, and we are needing to work on getting more. So that's something we're going to work on. The problem that we're having is we just don't have time to mine. So we need to find a way to automate more things. So as you know, we've got our system down below, but currently we're having to manually fill up the little items, the little cells that it uses, cans I believe it's called actually, in order to move the lava from one place to another. Now, I do have a better way of doing that, and that's going to be through the use of an ender chest. Now, I've showed you guys in the last episode what an ender chest is made out of. Now, that of course is blaze rods and all sorts of different things. Let's go ahead and bring it back up here. This of course is not the ender chest you're used to. This is a different ender chest created by a mod before the actual ender chests were even created. So this again is a chest, a piece of wool, 2 obsidian, an ender pearl, and 4 blaze rods. Now, while I was off camera, I did go ahead and get myself, wrong chest, 8 blaze rod. So as you can see, we do have that, and that is going to help us a long ways when it comes to getting these chests together. But if we take a look, we only have 1 ender pearl. We're going to need at least 1 more ender pearl and 2 more obsidian before we're going to be able to make this system. Then once we make it, we're also going to need to build another chunk loader. And the reason for that is because for those of you who haven't used them or haven't played on a server, even in single player, if you're not in an area, the chunk isn't loaded, meaning that nothing happens. Nothing grows, nothing happens, and that can always be a problem because when we're here, nothing is happening in the nether. When we're in the nether, nothing's happening here. Now we do have a chunk loader in this area, as I showed you before, hiding underneath our enchantment table. Now that chunk loader is going to allow us to keep this area loaded. And of course it does it all the way to bedrock, all the way to max build height. And that's always nice. Oh, it looks like we're going to need a new sail as well. Wonderful. So that's, oh look at that, that's why. Oops, I apparently left that on last time I was on. It's been a couple of days. I want to apologize, by the way, for not having an episode out yesterday. We've been working some overtime at work, so we haven't been able to get an episode out. So today is going to be an extra special episode where we're going to start doing some automation. Like I said before, we're probably going to do a little bit more building between episodes just because a lot of these builds are very large. I'll make sure, though, that I show you every step that I took once I come back on. So as you can see, we spent about 10 minutes, about there, just showing you what has happened so far while you guys have been away. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this took 10 minutes. No, this was about 2 hours worth of work. Could you imagine that in episodes, having to look at this build slowly and steadily? That's a lot of work. This guy here especially takes a long time. You actually have to put 1,000 liquid redstone into him, and each redstone only produces 50. So that's 100 is 2, so that's 20 redstone just for him that I had to use in the magma crucible, and let me tell you, that's not fast. So we're gonna have to go ahead and build a chunk loader. We're also going to have to build an ender chest on either side. Once we've done that, we'll be able to have constant lava poured into this system, and then I can add it to IC2 over there, and I can also pipe this power into our main system, allowing our RedPower power to just power RedPower, so that way we're not going through it quite as quickly, because as you can see, these batteries, half the time we look at them, are empty. So that's always a pain. So, the next thing I wanted to show you guys was something that happened while I was in the Nether. I got a soul shard, a blaze soul shard, and I found out something neat the other day. With the newest update of soul shards, you can take a soul shard meant for that particular spawner. If you can find the spawner, right click on it, and it'll add souls. Now, as far as I know, it's a random amount of souls, but you can get up to 200 souls, is what I've found so far. My first one actually gave me 200 souls. I think the next one didn't quite give me 200, but it was close. So I've actually killed 2 spawners already. And as you can see, because it's 64, 128, 256, I've got my 3rd tier. 512 is the next tier, and I think that's what we're going to go for. We're going to go ahead and get our next tier, and hopefully we can get up to 1024, because what we really want is a tier 5 spawner. The reason that we want a tier 5 spawner is because a tier 1 spawner spawns really slowly, tier 2 is a little faster, tier 3 is faster than that. 4 and 5 actually do various things. 4, first of all, allows you to take things out of their domain. So as an example, blazes can only spawn in the Nether. If I want them to spawn here in the overworld, I need a tier 4 spawner. Next, a tier 5 spawner allows it to work with redstone. The nice part about that is you can turn it on and off at any time. So you're not having to worry about, like with my chickens, where they're constantly producing eggs. I was wondering, did anyone else notice that we have an extra barrel getting filled with eggs? That's right, this barrel here is absolutely full at 256 times 16 apparently is what these barrels can handle for 16 stacks. So this one here is starting to fill up now, as you can see, and hopefully in the near future we'll have a special barrel, and let me just show you that. So there are actually 2 types of barrels. There's your regular barrel, and then there's your extra dimensional storage barrel. It is a barrel upgrade. If you enter this stuff into a barrel, it will make it much, much larger. And the thing about that is it'll allow you to hold a lot more than what the regular barrels will. How much? I don't even know yet. I haven't researched it. My plan is to find out when we build one. So hopefully we won't get too many eggs before then. Now over here, you'll see here that I have parts for a blast furnace. If we take a look, we have an advanced machine block, a bunch of refined iron, some golden electron tubes, and some cupro nickel heating coils. Now this is going to be for our solar panels. I want to make IC2 solar panels to get us more IC2 power. This will allow us to do a whole bunch more stuff with IC2 and maybe make it a little easier to get some of the stuff that we need. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back upstairs because I completely forgot to do something here. We're going to drop off a couple items in here. So, the things that we're going to drop off are going to be these panels, the mining drill. We're going to keep our pickaxes because you never know, they're just stone anyway. We'll keep our stone shovel, and we're going to keep a couple of swords. I don't think we need that one, but we'll keep that one. So we'll keep 3 swords on us. So that's the plan there. We're going to go get ourselves some more blaze. Now, I've already found some more blaze spawners, but I wanted you guys to see this, so I didn't go and collect them. So if you take a look around, you'll see here that over there it says fire spawn. That means that there's a blaze spawner over there. So we just got to get there, and we'll be able to get those blazes. So let's head out. So the first thing we do is we just dig out our hole, and we head this way. Now I've gone ahead and I've dug a few paths already, so we should be able to get there fairly easily without having too many problems. Now there is a fairly high probability of death. We are wearing our nano armor that's fairly well charged, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll be able to do what we need to do. So the hope is that I'll be able to get up here. Here we go. Find this path, and we're going to head over to that fire spawner. Now as you can see, This path is pretty much a direct route. We're still going to have to do a little work to get over there once we're at the end of this path, but it shouldn't be too terribly difficult. As you can see, I dug up, I dug down, left, right, and the reason for that was, again, avoiding the minerals in the nether. I really don't want to have to piss off all of these guys and have to fight them all, so I decided it was best if we just continued on our merry way. Alright, so now the fire spawn is 83 meters in that direction. This is going to be difficult to get to, because I can't quite remember how to get there. Now, of course, we could just dig our way there, and I've done that in previous episodes. But that's a lot of work for very little gain. So, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to follow our instincts and be careful where we're going. Because, for example, anything could be around these corners. Now, the reason I went the wrong way was because I wanted to make sure that there was nothing over here before we continued on. Just like I'm going to go in here. Okay. We have to be fairly careful when it comes to this sort of thing because we don't want to die. We're not wearing anything fireproof, we're not wearing anything special, so we've got to be extra vigilant to keep ourselves from dying. So there appears to be some spawners in here. So we're going to head on up. And before anything can spawn, I'm actually just going to right-click that. So as you can see, we now have 617 kills. So apparently that one gave us 200. Apparently 200 seems to be a regular number, which is good to see. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here. So we're just going to grab this glowstone since we're here. Now I'm going to assume that there's probably other blaze around here somewhere, because it just seemed like a lot of blaze were spawning in this area when I was first here. So, part of me is kind of thinking that wasn't the only blaze spawner in the area. So hopefully not, because I would really like to see more blaze. Looks like there's a bunch of lava here, but there's another blaze spawner. So now before a blaze can spawn, we just right-click it. And that gets us some more. So we're up to 817. We're almost to where we need to be. If we can get a couple blaze kills and then another blaze spawner, we'll be at our 1024. Alright, what's over here? Okay, this is the blaze spawner we just killed. I wonder if there's anything this way. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I always do this. I just dig right along the edge here. And the reason I do this is because I'm actually looking for other tunnels. I'm actually going to come out here. Now as you can see, that didn't really help us. It just took us pretty much to the same place. But you never know. That's why we always check these things. Alright, so now let's check down here. Oh. Go away. I'm not quite sure what exploded there. I know that there's exploding things in the nether now. I think it might be the bats, but I'm not too terribly sure. Alright, what do we got here? So we take a look. Okay. Anything? Alright, so it appears that this is a dead end. That's a dead end. Howdy, sir. This is where we came from. I think we've already checked all this. Okay, no, we checked in there, but I don't think we checked further down. Oh, I hear a slime. Alright. The thing about these castles is that they get a little awkward when they dig into the netherrack like this, because you never know where they're going to come out at, where they're going to break, and things like that. And this has always been a pain, but usually we can run around and find ways around. Or, in some circumstances, as I've done before, build your own way. As you can see, we haven't been this way. Alright, so far we've only found the 2 blaze spawners. It does give us a tier 4, so we can literally build a spawner in the other world. Now the downside there is, if we take our system right now, and we build a spawner... Does this keep going? Oh, it stops right there.
Hey, wake up.
So if we build a spawner, the problem that we're going to have is that there's going to be issues with the fact that it's going to disappear part of our kills. So, tier 4 goes, of course, to 512. So now, the problem that we'll have is if we make a spawner and then we decide to fill it up later, when we take it out, it's only going to be 512. So we're going to lose most of the kills that we put into this system. But it appears that that's all this castle has for us. There doesn't appear to be anything left. I've been around this castle a few times, and that does appear to be it. Alright, so it looks like we're probably just going to need to head on back. Unfortunately, I don't even remember quite how to do that. So that's something we're going to have to figure out as well. I do believe we're heading in the right direction, though. Alright. So we are definitely heading in the right direction. So let's head home. So there you have it. We now have a tier 4 spawner. We're so close to a tier 5 spawner. We just need to kill a few more of them and get one more spawner, and then we'll be good to go. So once we do that, we're probably going to set up an in-world blaze spawner over by our house and just have it farm. I'm going to see if I can build a dual system. I want a system where I can farm without having to do anything, just so I can get blaze rod. And I'll leave that on for a while. And then I want another system where I can farm XP. And of course I'll still get blaze rod. It doesn't really matter what you use to farm XP, but I figured we'd use it because it'll be the first one that we actually max out. So that's going to be something here. And since it's going to be our first... Oh, I'm on fire. This isn't good. Block that off. And we'll head home. Alright everybody, so as you can see, it's 817 tier 4, so we just got a little bit more to go, and we'll be at our 1024. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go hunting for endermen so we can get some additional ender pearls so that we can work on more of our automation. Once we've done that, we should be able to finish setting up this system. Some of it, of course, will be with you guys. Some of it may be on my own. So I just want you guys to pay attention to that, and we'll see you next time.